everyone. My name is Vanessa Aguiar, and I'm going to be doing the debate of whether the United States should withdraw the troops from Afghanistan. The stance that I'm taking is that the United States should withdraw the troops from Afghanistan. So the reason why I am going to argue this is for multiple reasons. My first reason is that we've been at this war really for approximately 20 years. I believe it was October 7th of 2001 that we sent those troops over to Afghanistan, and we're nearing that time again, and it's just been way too long of a period of time that we've had the troops over there, and I think that we've kind of lost our initial objective of having the troops over there. I do believe that at first it might have been a reasonable strategy to employ, and I think that 20 years ago that was probably the right decision to make, and even 15 years ago, who knows. But what I'm getting at is that I think that there are better approaches that we could be using to really address this issue that we have, or this concern that we have. I understand that a lot of people fear that withdrawing these troops would cause even bigger issues, such as giving rise to terrorist groups or such. Truly, I think that there will always be fear with any decision that we make, especially with foreign policy, and especially something as sensitive as this. I'm no policy expert, but I do think that there are other viable solutions to having the troops over there in Afghanistan. So another reason I think that we should remove the troops from Afghanistan is because we've lost thousands of lives, and I don't think that any life really is worth any war or any dispute that we have. Not necessarily dispute, I don't mean, but more specifically, any war or objective that we might have. I don't think that any lives are really worth that objective. That's just a personal philosophy. I'm not necessarily like a pacifist, but I also don't think that people's lives are worth any objective. Trillions of dollars have been invested into this war on terrorism, and I just think that big of a budget on this could have been invested better and could have been better distributed, such as it could have been invested in things like healthcare, especially in a time like a pandemic, for which we were not prepared for by any means. So I think that had we invested more money into establishing a good universal healthcare system, I think that could have prevented a lot of deaths that we also experienced this past year. Also, education. I think that that's another big sector in the United States that we should be investing a lot more money to. But we're not, because we are diverting a lot of our priorities, and we are putting more money and investing more money into these things that don't necessarily need to be continued. I also think that we can shift our focus to other rising powers such as China and Russia. I think that if we really are worried about protecting and enhancing our national security, I think that we should also be worried about these other powers that are beginning to rise, and I think that that is something that we should be prepared for. I genuinely think that trying to pick at the same fight, I don't think it's really going to be much of a solution in the long run. So I really don't think that there's anything that we can really accomplish that we haven't already, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's why I believe that the troops from Afghanistan should be removed. Thank you for watching.